Okay, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Real Talk with Ike J. I appreciate you stopping by. I've been working on some side videos and trying to get some other series going. I've gone through some things that I understand that people will do some things to you. So I have maybe turned my life more towards spiritual to see if I can get some help from that. I'm not saying this is preachy or religious. I don't want to try to come off that way to people because that's definitely a big turnoff. But I have always been a very open minded person. And I do think that we are too perfect as creatures to be an accident. So I'm going through a process in my life, and this is one of the best ways for me to do that was to maybe look more inward than a whole bunch of outward towards other people. I maybe some self-reflection and stuff has definitely come into play. And this guy, this is Sling and Stone. I got permission to react to some of their videos, so I'm gonna do a series with them. they they're religious. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Like I said, I'm open minded. I believe people can believe what they want, and I think that they might be on the right track here. So let's let this video play out. I'll stop in it here and there and add my little 2 cents. But it's about CERN and what they could possibly be doing there. I know that the reactor is there for a reason, and we don't know what it is, but science definitely is pretty curious and willing to put a whole bunch of loot into this thing. And let's just investigate this, okay? Keep an open mind, y'all.
I'm reading an interesting book called The Pool and the Portal, and it has a lot of references to older truther stuff in it. It's a pretty good book, I definitely recommend it. In part of the story, it references CERN being built on an old temple for Apollo. I'd never heard this before, and so I was researching it and came across one of the strangest articles I've ever read about CERN. It was published by The Guardian in 2008, and it's so out of the ordinary, tying CERN to spirituality, that I just wanted to document it here and bring it back up to show that, of course, as we know, there's something more to CERN than meets the eye. For some reason, the largest machine on Earth doing the largest tests as spirit.
Y'all seen that little design? I've heard that a lot of companies incorporate the 666 into their imagery. Maybe we'll go through that, like the Google Chrome symbol. They say has it in. It's weird that people try to correlate these things that doesn't mean that they're actually wrong. So this is the same. Keep open mind, like I said.
Spirituality woven into many aspects of it. So here's what this article has to say. A temple to mystery and imagination, Jonathan Glancy. The enormous constructions at CERN evoke great cathedrals and Egyptian pyramids, says Jonathan Glancy. Paradoxically, this extreme expression of modern science may be the most spiritual structure of our time. The huge underground complex of CERN is almost entirely hidden from sight. The presence of this wonder of the modern world is, to say the least, muted. Most of its buildings are matter-of-fact, industrial sheds of concrete bunkers with none of the obvious allure or artistry of the Great Pyramids of...
All right, let's pause this for a hot second. Look how big the future one they want. So this is the one they have now, and it's 27 kilometers. But this is 100 kilometers. They want to build one even bigger, so there has to be a reason why they're investing all this, let's say, money into this, because there's some unknowns they're trying to figure out, and I don't know what that is, but goodness, that's insane.
Chopes, the Parthenon, Chartres Cathedral, or Eiffel Tower. And yet, here's a place of mystery and imagination, as well as mathematics, physics, and imaginative engineering that promises to take us on a journey into the realm of the spiritual, as well as purely scientific and rational. In this sense, CERN is a modern equivalent of the great temples and cathedrals of the past. It aims to find the point at which creation began. God only knows what scientists will divine in the months to come. Will the origin and structure of the universe prove to be the product of some divine being, a colossal figment of our own imagination, a mirror of some parallel universe, or a quintessence of stardust? Ultimately, certain scientists may come up against a truly mysterious nothingness.
So, weird that this is at CERN. This is Shiva, the god of destruction, I believe. Yes, the god of destruction. So this is just a weird correlation to have that symbol at your place. I know they're destroying, atoms and whatnot, rushing them around that big loop, but man, it's just weird to have that there.
The very opposite of solid architecture, and discovered that perhaps we cannot even truly understand or come to terms with the elusive core and generator of the universe. This, by the way, is a part of the reason, although expressed very differently, why the Temple of Jerusalem, one of the great buildings of legend and religious faith, was based around a physical emptiness incomprehensible to the worldly Romans who discovered the great buildings in AD 80. The temple, as laterally rebuilt by Herod the Great, might have been a mighty structure of stone, marble, and cedar, yet its Holy of Holies, the shrine known only to the high priests, contained nothing material or tangible whatsoever. What it did house, though, was the silent Spirit of God. I'll also add here, of course, as we know, it actually did house the Ark of the Covenant when they had possession of it. Many of CERN's scientists are well aware of the connection between their great underground temple and those of religions, ancient and modern, and just as the quest for God or the gods encouraged the very first great works of architecture, so CERN, laid out up to 100 meters below ground like some inverted latter-day Stonehenge, has been constructed on a massive scale. The 3,000 scientists, technicians, and other staff who work here, and the 6,500 particle physicists from at least 80 countries who visit CERN each year, are like...
Goodness, that's so many people involved in this, and that's the small one. So they're going to have like a city for the 100-kilometer one. This is crazy. It's to invest that much into something, it matters. It's for a reason.
Some of the modern and global priesthood, the guardians of a place of hoped-for revelation that will divine the secrets of the universe and perhaps reveal the face of its creator. If this sounds fanciful, you might well change your mind after a visit to CERN. At the heart of this vast operation, straddling the Swiss-French border near Geneva, is the Large Hadron Collider, housed in an underground ring that may seem a little more like a long, curving, concrete-lined tunnel, much like the eastward stretch of London Underground's Jubilee Line, but its purpose and the machines that serve it are sensational, mind-blowing even. One of the LHC's detectors, Atlas, weighs as much as 100 Boeing 747s, looking like a cross between some improbably big communication satellite and the largest electric dynamo you can imagine. Atlas is the work of 1,900 scientists drawn from 164 universities in 35 countries. A true giant among machines, it fully deserves its name. A number of Europe's great medieval cathedrals were built in something like this same spirit. Teams of architects, masons, experts in geometry, and Latin-speaking divinities traveled across the continent, gathering and sharing knowledge and raising immense, intricate, and daring structures aimed at bringing humankind and the infinite together. Their most profound works, and especially Chartres, are aligned with the constellations as if they have been built as observatories, but with prayer rather than radio waves beaming into infinite and numinous space. Back on the surface, our most ambitious contemporary buildings, whether in Europe or in the rest of the world, tend to be vast offices and hotel towers.
So I know I'll never get a chance to go to CERN. Well, that's not true, but I don't think it's high on my priority list. But it's cool to see like the inside of it, like, have someone that visited there and, take their camera in, what you're allowed to film anyway.
Cities and states compete with one another to reach even higher into the sky. None of these incredible designs, however, have any purpose beyond getting and spending. None has anything like the spiritual charge of a Sumerian ziggurat, an Egyptian pyramid, or a medieval cathedral, nor the sheer sense of wonder created by pure engineering marvels, whether the late 19th century Eiffel Tower or the early 21st century Viaduc de Melun over the river Tarn in the massive Central. No matter how odd it may seem at first, the most profoundly spiritual structure of our time, housed for the most part in function sheds and unadorned underground passageways, is a vast CERN laboratory tucked away out of sight, although very much in mind. Here is a temple of our own age, a place in space where we will have a chance of understanding a little more of the great architect and the universe, or universes, he set blazing into...
That's a ginormic complex here. That's pretty big. And I'm sure they have similar ones, like stretched out around the whole 27 kilometers. I mean, it's not just the underground stuff. It's all of this, too, that man, like I said, such a large investment from so many different places. There has to be a reason for it.
To perpetual motion. So that's the article, and I just find it very strange that one of the first articles written really about CERN, talking about it, ties it to spirituality, to temples, to the ancient world, and their architecture that they claimed was built by the gods or inspired by the gods. CERN has had so many strange spiritual things surrounding it. The god of Shiva standing there, the god of destruction on the property of CERN. That strange dance of destruction that they came out with a few years ago as well.
Yes, that was weird. I know I seen that years back, and it doesn't make sense to have that dance. It's the dance of destruction, if you guys want to look that up, because it doesn't make sense with the opening of this, scientific, foundation, this scientific, very, 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 very expensive thing that collaborated with many countries to come together and to look for something. There's very few things that the world will collaborate on, okay? It's weird that a couple of those places, one is CERN and the other one is Alaska, Antarctica, and it's so weird that I don't understand. They make an agreement and they'll actually bind to that, but they'll fight throughout the whole world over dumb stuff. All right, sorry, I went on a little bit of a rant there, but
well as that really strange video that came out years ago of people doing like a mock sacrifice there. Some very strange things going on there, and it would make sense that a place like that would be the place that could open the bottomless pit. It makes sense to me that Bible prophecy, when it's fulfilled, is fulfilled through things going on in the world. It's not always just a massive supernatural event. Otherwise, everybody would believe and put their faith in God. But you have to keep your faith in God through just faith alone. That's like when the Euphrates River is drying up because it's being dammed up. People look to the dams at the cause of it and not the fact that it's still the prophecy that the river would dry up. So if
I'm 100% doing a video on the Euphrates River. There have been a lot of prophecies about it drying up, and there's actually some stuff written on some stones there talking about if the water level gets to this, that you should fear and stuff like that. It's supposed to be something that gets released from underneath the Euphrates, and they found all these caves and stuff down there that they didn't even know were there. So I mean, it's weird to say that prophecy is coming to fruition, but it is. A lot of things are coming true, and it's eye-opening. It's things that I've noticed, so that's why I'm interested in this type of stuff.
Opening and the connection of some other dimension came through CERN, people would say, oh no, that's just science, when really it would be fulfilled prophecy. So that's the way I look at these things. Very strange, very interesting article. Wanted to document that. And since CERN just recently turned on again, I figured it would be a good time to post this. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching, and God bless.
Awesome. I was wondering what y'all have thoughts about this kind of thing. I know it's weird, it's different, and people were going to believe what they want to believe, and I'm not trying to push an agenda. Like I said, I'm extremely open-minded, and I have some more videos that are going to actually show that. You're going to be like, okay, Gary's on some other stuff, which is cool, because, this channel is about being real, and I can show a real part of myself if I allow these videos to come out. Y'all can see just a little bit what's going on up inside the dome piece. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. There are many more videos like this to come. Please like, share, subscribe. Subscribe. It's free to subscribe. It don't hurt you, and actually does help me out a lot. So I appreciate y'all time, and y'all have a good day.